Alrighty, all welcome back to the channel, and of course this is Licensed to Griddle, and I am telling you right now, this is one you are definitely going to want to sit back, relax, and watch, as there is definitely a method to the madness in this one. A little bit different than your run-of-the-mill steak fajita cooks, I could tell you that, as it is not going to be so much in the, well, let me back up a little bit. You can go with a skirt steak or a flank steak. The skirt is a little bit better, I do believe. This is a flank here. It was on sale. I mean, hey, License to Griddle has to catch the sales also. And now the one different in this steak fajitas video is going to be in this flank steak. I do not marinate the flank steaks. This is a salt brined with a little granulated garlic and also some black pepper. I put this in the fridge for about 4 or 5 hours. I take it out a half hour before it's going to hit the griddle. So this is just salt brine. So that is number one. And number two here, yes, we are going to have some marination in this, but it is not going to be sitting on the steak for hours. It is going to be more on the veggies. It is actually going to almost burn. It is going to form like a crust that just takes the steak fajitas through the roof. And another note before we get back to the griddle is you can dress these up any way you want. I only like a little bit of refried beans, sour cream, the onions, limes, and 2 colors of peppers. I don't like any red. I don't like any tomatoes. I don't like any guac. That is me. So you fix them up the way you want to fix them up. Let's go back onto the griddle. We've already got it fired up, and let's start this cook. Come on. Alrighty, so as I said, we are already fired up here on the griddle right across the board. It is already oiled. It is already cleaned. We've got some peppers going right down, and of course we've got some onions going right down. I like to mainly stick with the red onion. I've got a 1 whole red onion and half a white onion just to give me a little bit more onion. And now we will get these veggies cooked down pretty well. I'll get them moved over to the side, and then we will work on our flank steak or skirt steak. The one thing you got to make sure is, if you're going to marinate it, you want to make sure it's dry before it hits the griddle. But importantly also with that is you got to have a piping hot griddle. I am talking, 450, 500, 550 if you can get there. Guys, and as noted over here, I am just going to leave the griddle fired up again because I want to maintain that real hot temperature. And on these veggies here, I am going to start seasoning up once they are probably about 75% cooked. To cook faster, you definitely want to make sure you got good contact with the griddle. If you got a 36-inch griddle, you can spread these out, up to a 30-inch griddle per se, and certainly more than a 24-inch griddle. Go bigger is always the best bet. You want to maintain good contact with the griddle to get these cooked up in a timely fashion. Alrighty, and we've been on probably for about 5-6 minutes or so, and we are starting to get there. I will slowly start hitting with some of the seasoning. This is a little bit of granulated garlic, a little bit of chili powder. It's gotta be. I'm just gonna keep it dry now, no wet seasoning down yet, but a little bit of oil. And again, my griddle leans down, so everything's gonna kind of flow right into the veggies. And I gotta tell you, the smell of chili powder is definitely in the air. And I've got a nice piece of protein. I've got a lot of veggies down. These are going to shrink down a little bit. We are rolling here in the Garden State at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I'll fix one up for you guys, and then the rest is going to be dinner tonight. And this going down here is just going to be a tad of white sugar. Just stick with this one, follow along. And of course, you got to have a little bit of fresh lime down. I like a lot of lime. Even when I make my steak fajitas up, I like to sprinkle a little bit of lime on there. It's always nice. So like at this time, what we are going to do, we are going to work a little bit of moisture in here. This is going to be a little bit of soy. And again, this is almost going to act where you're thinking it's burning, but that is the trick. That is exactly what you want. Guys, so believe it or not, we are rolling along good. We are about 400, close to 500 over here. I am going to get the protein down. Put a little bit of a weight on it. Why not? Now you are going to leave this down untouched for about, good solid 2-3 minutes. I am definitely going to go for a rare to medium rare here. That is for sure. And just for the fix up, I'm just going to get a spoonful of refried beans down. The rest I will maintain in the house for tonight's dinner. So only a spoon is all I'll need. All right, let's get this flipped over. I think it's been a couple minutes. Have protection on these hands. Again, information on this stuff is down in the description. Go right to Amazon and pick it up. That is an okay sear. We will move it out here into the front where it's a little bit hotter. And how about this? My veggies are looking pretty good. I'm just going to dump them right on top of this plate. All right, I'm going to pull off these refried beans, refried beans, put them off to the side. All right, that was another couple minutes. And that is going to be just fine. All right, so we definitely going to want to get a temp check on this. Got my chef's temp handy. And I would say we are pretty good. Let's divvy off a couple slices. Your grain is running like this, so you're going to want to slice like this. Oh yeah. I'm just going to build a couple over there for you. And these are definitely looking good. Now, if you didn't want to cut on your griddle, you could certainly do this on a cutting board. So guys, look, what I want to do here, we've got our meats perfectly cooked. I would say that is a nice, would you say a nice medium rare. I've got a little bit of seasonings down on it. Let's get on over to that griddle. Let's get on over to the board, because we're going to have to plate this up, do that taste test, and talk about it, and close out the show. Alrighty, also look, that is going to be your steak fajitas done here on the done here up on the griddle. And look, this is KISS, keep it simple, you know what. I mean, there is nothing fancy about this, but for me, it is all in that salt brine on the protein, and it is all in that soy flavoring that we dropped on the veggies, and a little bit on the meat as it was cooking. As that gums up, cakes up, and just puts on a killer flavor on these. But here you go. Let's go on in for that taste test, and we will talk about it, and we will close out the show. And I've got Molly right down there just waiting to dive right in, and here it is. Cheers. So first things first is it is a clean bite. You know, there's no tug, there's no where you have to pull on it. It is a clean bite right through the meat. That is a product of that medium rare that is perfectly cooked, and also that salt brine. I definitely think helps. So you've got the clean bite. I get a nice jolt of the lime. The refried beans is right there, and of course that sour cream, the meat. You've got that soy in there. No marination needed for this recipe here. It is a clean bite. There is absolutely zero tug. My name is Tommy, and I guess that makes me the Griddler. I appreciate you all for watching. And until next time, there is Molly right there. I'm going to call her around. She never misses a bite. And until next time, we will see you.